right, back at it again. It is now August 2nd and back out at the farm. Came out today, gonna fill the feeder. I am burning through probably 300-400 pounds of corn every 5 days. So things dead empty again. Was just out here 5 or 6 days ago. Checking cameras, pulling cards, putting out more cameras. I've got 8 cameras with me on top of the 8 or 9 that are already out here. Yeah, 9. So let's check out the mineral site. You can see, I mean, they're digging it up, but they're definitely not hitting it like I would think they would be hitting it this time of year. So that might have a lot to do with the natural spring that runs on this property is full of mineral, and one of the reasons why we get big bucks. Matter of fact, a lot of times you're looking at a 3-year-old buck here that you would think is a 4 or 5-year-old buck somewhere else, just because they're so high in mineral out of the drinking out of that spring that their antlers get bigger than normal places. So that's just my hunch. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Might be just really good genetics, who knows. But what we're doing today is Matt is experimenting with some dry mineral blends. So he's got me a 5-gallon bucket mixed up, and at the bottom of this hill, so if you look all the way down there, way down there. But I used to have a mineral site down there around an old fallen tree or an old stump. And we just really stopped using it because we were bumping a lot of deer going in there. And so I didn't use the stand for a couple years. I actually wound up pulling that set and haven't really done anything with it since. So I'm gonna take this mineral down there in a couple cameras and see what kind of intel we get. And possibly gonna hang another tree stand down there, at least for Matt. Matt likes this little area. Gonna get down to the other one. I got 600 pounds of corn with me today, so we're gonna fill the feeders and hopefully have some good intel. We got 3 decent bucks on camera that I think are gonna be, low 140s, high 130s. Other than the one that's got really, really huge bases, and the couple of pictures that I've gotten of him, I can't really tell what he's gonna blow up into. But just haven't had the intel of like, wow, that's a hitless buck for me this year. And I mean, that's not a big deal. This is typically a rut farm anyway. We see most of our biggest deer come through this farm late October, mid-November. So you can't get discouraged by not seeing stuff in the early season, because what you got in the early season isn't going to be what you got during November anyway, most of the time. Unless it's just a really old buck and he's done traveling. But I'm talking really old, like 10 years plus, because anything younger than that, man, they're going to travel. They've got a couple mile radius, and you might not see that deer again. But we're going to get down here, we're going to get this work done, and just hopefully keep building that case up to the 2022 season. Got some good news from Drew. I say good news, it's good news for me. He is going to be available to go on the Ohio deer hunt with us this year. He thought he was going to be in Canada on a bird hunt, and that looks like it might fall through. So he's now going to be with the rest of the crew, and we're going to be up in Ohio at the same national forest that we were in during turkey season and had no luck. But we had a lot of luck looking or finding deer and deer signs. So really excited about that. We're going to do that sometime in October. So we heading up to Ohio, and then just got a couple other ideas of out-of-state hunts, Indiana, Tennessee. So yeah, I guess I'm just rambling at this point. I'm going to get some work done and hopefully bring you guys some good intel here in a minute. Spiders, spider webs, snakes, all the lovely stuff that's in the woods in the summertime. Yeah. Ran right into that one. About ate that spider. This has been good protein. I haven't eaten lunch today, so that has been something. Gosh. I can't wait to see my face on that one, because I about ate this one too. Another big spider. Clear mouth. One thing that tells me is that the deer are not using this, and I only seen one print way up top. But with that many thick spider webs coming down through here, they're not using this routinely enough for the spiders to stay out of it. So might not get any intel down here. Don't know. All right, did not come all the way down here very prepared. Didn't bring my rake with me. I didn't bring my little handsaw with me, so I don't have anything to clear out branches and trees. I got the, just had to use my boot, but I had a mineral on this stump for a couple of years actually, and they really tore it up. But it was crazy. I had a camera right over there, 25 yards away, and very rarely got any intel of any deer actually using this spot. So I'm gonna get the camera a little bit closer this time. That's the tree right there we had to stand in. Really good straight tree. Get all the way up in there, right up there. So I'll probably get that set hung back down in, or back in that same good straight tree. When we were here before years ago, cleared out, I just dropped a bunch of trees all the way down this hill, and then late October, November, you actually had visibility across the creek and on the other hillside, where there's a big travel corridor on that other side. So worked out really good. Just I never had any luck down here. Matt shot a deer down here, went down to that bottom, and then somehow got up, climbed that mountain, and we never found it. But that's part of hunting. So it does look like I got a good trail going through right here though. Yeah, that's pretty beat down. Right through there. Yeah. All right, so got the ultimate camera mount secured to the tree there. You can see a couple twists and you're pretty much in any tree. This is a pretty wide tree. It's gonna give some good camouflage once I install the camera there. So one thing about the ultimate camera mount when you're using this, make sure that whenever you have it on the tree that the wing nut for to tie it down right here, that wing nut is to the left, okay? Because that's where you're gonna get that back pressure from. If it's on the right, it's going the wrong direction and you can pull on it and it'll fall and give way. So make sure that if you use an ultimate camera mount, that whenever it's mounted to the tree, the wing nut, when you're looking at it, should be on the left-hand side. You're gonna tighten it down and then you're gonna pull your camera into it until it's in a secure position. And then it's gonna be right there for you every single time you come down and check your camera. Squirrels can jump on it, birds can perch on it, doesn't matter. It is not gonna fall if you do it right. So again, these things don't weigh anything. They're small, they're compact, easy to tote around. Again, I can throw 4, 5, 10 of those things in my pack. I don't even know they're there, but I like them. I can put them anywhere. The smallest trees, the biggest trees, doesn't matter. Just remember, if you are putting it on a smaller tree like here, I mean, I've put them on trees this size before, but any wind or whatever, you're going to be snapping pictures because that is going to be moving. Where a tree like this, the base of this tree isn't going to move, so you're not going to get a bunch of false reads and a bunch of false pictures. But if you need the intel, I mean, it's nothing for me to come over to a tree this size right here. Not very big. And I'm gonna put my other camera somewhere like that, up in a tree, out of the line of sight. Easy install. I don't have to worry about climbing up there and putting a bunch of straps in. I can put that thing on and I can get the downward angle that I need anywhere. So great little tidbit of advice. If you're running cameras and it has the mount, make sure you're running with these ultimate camera mounts. Man, I wish y'all could smell that. That smells so good. I might eat some, but definitely should attract the deer to this site. So I don't know how much I'm gonna put. I don't think I'm gonna put the whole 5-gallon bucket down here, but I'm just gonna cover this area. Put a little bit up on this log, let it drain down, and then come back in a week or two and check, see how it's doing. And if I need to refreshen it, great. If we need to change locations, great too. A little on the stump, let it run down. Let it really get into that wood whenever it starts raining. And then make sure your mineral, and if you're doing something like this, you're putting it in a hole. You don't want to put it on the ground just and then letting it run off. So all around the base of that, that'll pack in there really good, and then hopefully get them to digging that out. So got that all set up. Like I said, I only used half of the 5-gallon bucket. We're gonna let that run for a week, 2 weeks, see how they're reacting to it, and then come get some intel. And if we're getting good intel, then we'll keep adding to it and get this set all set up for the 2022 season. If we're getting no intel, we might make a change. So, but we don't know if we don't try, and that's what we're doing. We're out here, it's part of the game, just trying different things, putting cameras in different places of your property, figuring out the movement of the deer, trying to leave as small of a human footprint as possible. So I walk straight in here, I'm gonna leave, I'm not gonna touch this again for at least 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna be as least intrusive as possible. I'm not gonna go trampling around the woods. I'm not gonna go running that way. I wouldn't even be talking if it wasn't for making this video and bringing you all some content. But yeah, try to be as least intrusive into your positions or into the woods as possible. But yeah, at the same time, you can't hunt them if you don't have good intel on them. And that's the best thing about where we're at today as hunters. We have the ability to gain a bunch of intel with these cameras. And I don't want to put one of my cell cameras down here because I don't know if that's going to get stolen or not. Trespassers on this property in the past couple of years, and that's actually why I haven't hunted it as much and moved out to the drop zone the past 2 years. But either way, we're throwing some cheap cameras up right now. We'll see how it goes. Fortunately, so far this year, we've got 9 cameras up top, all around the top of the farm, and none of them have been stolen. So fingers crossed that stays the case. But yeah, I guess the advice I have is try new things, just like this product. I mean, it's something that Matt's put together. There's no single recipe. It's just different things that he's used in the past that this might work and that might work, and then just combine. So we're trying it out. We'll see how it goes, and we'll let you guys know. So now it's time to hike up and fill this deer feeder. Woo, it's gonna be fun. All right, back at the farm again. It is now August 11th, and the thing I love about YouTube, just like that, it's been 10 days. So I told you guys I was gonna let it be about 2 weeks on this new mineral blend that Matt has, he's kind of tinkering with, and he's having a lot of success out at his farm. So we're gonna hike down here and pull these cards from the cameras that I put on the mineral site that we put out with this new blend, kind of see how that's working. I've got another 5 gallons with me, gonna drop that off and refreshing that all up. Let's see, I got 600 pounds of corn with me, so we're gonna fill both feeders, 12, 13, 14. We have 15 cards to pull today, so hopefully we're gonna have a ton of intel on some really good deer to bring you here at the end of this episode. But while I'm hiking this 5-gallon bucket of mineral down to the bottom of this big old hill, let's jump over to team member Keenan Hall and see what all he's been up to in preparation for the upcoming 2022 season.
Hey, what's up everybody? So it's Keenan back for another year, Deer 30. We are out in the woods today. As you can see behind me, we're setting up tree stands and stuff. I pulled a couple of sets today and I moved some stuff around. If y'all remember from early season last year, I shot that buck and couldn't find it. Well, he ran into this bedding area, which that bedding area is all down behind me. So what I have done this year is moved over towards the Buck Creek side, and I got a camera set down on the creek, and there's a logging road that comes up, and there's a big main trail that runs up this logging road. I came on the entry side of their bedding area, and I have set a tree stand. I got a tree stand set, and I cut some shooting lanes, which, I mean, it's early season right now, so everything's green and up, and it's super thick. So there's a lot of cutting, a lot of dragging, all the stuff we dropped on the ground, get it off of their trail. So I'm expecting some slower movement, but I think, within a few weeks, I think they'll start taking back to it. No real prospects yet this year. I've been running cameras for only like a couple of weeks, corning cameras, and I haven't really got anything that's got me real excited, to be honest with you. I had a couple of 8-points. I got an 8-point on another farm, which is the farm, if you remember from the first season when I did all my first stuff. Me and Sean hunted this farm with a muzzleloader. Ended up shooting a doe, a big doe that was with a buck in this cutout, in this little cut area. That farm has a pretty good buck on it right now. He's probably a 3.5-year-old, maybe 4. He's starting to get some sway chest, sway belly, but that's really all that I've got to look forward to. I just pulled a camera or a card down here. I don't have any of the pictures. You just have to take my word for it. And it's about 600 yards back down the hill, and I didn't think to take a picture of it. But he's probably a 2.5-year-old 8-point. He's not no stud by no means. But what we're looking at here is linear travel up Buck Creek. So I've got big bedding area behind me. If you go straight that way, about 400 yards, it'll drop down into that holler where I had my ground blind at last year, and where I was getting all those pictures at last year. That's that way. This way, down the hill, if you go straight down this hill, this is the logging road right here. If you go straight down that hill, you run into my camera, but you'll run into Buck Creek. Buck Creek has probably a 40-yard bank on it on the side that I had permission to hunt. So what I believe and what I have seen over the years is, especially late October going through November, when they're in that pre-rut stage, when they're still chasing and dogging some does, I've seen them come through this bedding area, and everything that I have is telling me that they're coming up the hill right here. Well, what I have done is, me and my buddy Jake, we've came in, brought a pole saw in with us, and it looks like a lot, and I know this is going to disturb my deer a little bit, but what we've done is brought everything in, and I pulled a stand, and I have a stand up right here. So here's my tree stand, and what I'm expecting is mid-October through November, I'm expecting this stand to be really, really hot. What I've got is a trail camera on the exit side of this bedding area, and I have a trail camera down on Buck Creek on the entry side of this bedding area that comes up this logging road. So I'm hoping to catch, movement coming from both ways with a tree stand in the middle, and as long as I have a good wind coming down this hill and going in that direction, which that is like northeast, as long as I got a northeast wind, I should be set and ready to go. Like, it should really, really work, and I'm super excited about this spot. There's some old tree stands in here from the people prior. There's an old tree stand right down here. If tree stands could tell stories, I'd go talk to it right now, but I'm just really excited about this spot. This bedding area is about 400 yards long. It's huge, and it's this whole hillside. So I know they're bedding in here. When I shot that buck last year, if y'all remember from the video last year where I shot that good buck, and he run up and we lost him. I ended up losing that really good buck, about 140, 150 inch, 10-point. I lost in these woods here. Well, he came through that bedding area and he hit this trail that I'm standing on, and he went down this logging road, right? So, typically deer go to water a lot of times when they're, busted up or whatever, trying to get away from you, they'll hit water. Well, we got Buck Creek down here, and I know where their creek crossing's at, and it actually goes over on government land. It's a non-huntable, like, refuge, like wildlife refuge land. So it's pretty cool that we're able to pull deer off of that refuge and coming over here on this. This farm that I'm hunting on has got a lot of big timber. This area that I'm hunting on has a lot of big timber. The farm itself has almost 300 acres of nothing but crops and ag. So we usually load up here. I know we've had really good seasons here in the past. We've all killed a bunch of deer here. Sean's killed deer here. Me and Drew's hunted here together. Like, we've all put a lot of time in on this place. But it being my permission, I thought I'd get out today. It's about the only day I could before I start my new job and everything, to be able to get out and chop some limbs, get a stand up in the tree, and get everything set, because we're down to last month. What is today, Jake? Yeah, August the 5th? Yep. Today's August the 5th, so I mean, we're in that last month before the season opens up. So I know me and a bunch of my friends were getting super excited, and we're really trying to get after it as much as we can. We're all adults here. Everybody works, and everybody works really hard and a lot of hours and everything like that, but we do what we can to get out here and get this done. So we're super excited about this area. I'll let y'all go. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all get back at us and just wake up and hunt.
All right, you know it's a good day whenever you come home to that box right there. Let's check it out. I don't know if you can see in there. Yeah, boy. Got my tanks. Oh, look at that. Got all the good stuff. Got my, well, it's rolling all over the back of the truck, but got that trophy buck. Got that tank 69. Got my scent reels. But the one that I'm looking for the most, that one right there, the Mock Scrape starter kit. Guys, this is the time of year where we're gonna start putting those mock scrapes all over the farm and I'm gonna start today right here. Usually during late season, and I'll walk over here and show you where you can see that's an old scrape right there. They typically hit it right before the rut, but we're gonna go ahead and juice it up. We're gonna clean these other trees out around it just to make it more advantageous for them to come and hit that branch right there and give me some good intel. So we're gonna do some tree trimming with the old pole saw today. Got my tinks in. Like I said, really excited to get that started and get some additional intel. I have a community scrape up front, and we've got a camera on that and already getting a ton of intel. A lot of the bucks, not all of the bucks, but a lot of the bucks and does are hitting that almost every day. So they just come by and they basically put their scent on that branch and let the other deers in the area, the other deer in the area know that they're around, who's here, and where everybody's at, so on and so forth. So that is the way that these deer communicate, and it's never too early to start your mock scrapes. They're going to start hitting it, they're going to start coming to it, and it's going to help you identify more and more deer that are on your property. So we're going to get that in here today. Look here, got the old turkey feathers over here. Every time I come out here, there's something new. This one's weird. It's almost like someone deliberately cut that feather. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Huh. Crazy. Never know what you're gonna find when you come to the farm. Hopefully when I pull all these camera cards that we don't find any trespassers, because that surely looks like someone deliberately cut that feather. I mean, you tell me if I'm crazy or not. I don't know if I've ever seen a turkey feather that looks like that before. So I'm gonna pull some cards. We've got, let's see, 16 cards to pull today. It's not been that long since I've been out here. The feeder's not dead empty this time, but I do have another 250 pounds of corn with me. Get these feeders filled up, pull cards, go down there and check that mineral site for the new mineral blend that Matt's been putting together. And most importantly, we're gonna get this mock scrape put in and hung and start dripping and get me some even better intel.